good. So I think Alec is playing Thragtusk, so we can add to our Thragtusk count. So welcome back, guys. Ignore the title, as I have forgotten to update it.
I guess it's
Round 2 action tonight's FNM. On the left, we've got Alec Myers, stream regular, playing an interesting Naya midrange deck, which is basically just all the good cards in those colors, along with a top end of Aurelia, which is pretty good. And I think he's playing Domries as well. He won the die roll, or the game of rock paper scissors, I should say, and he's playing Joe Lewis, who is piloting American Flash. So double stomping ground start for Alec. No turn 1 or 2 play. But to be fair, he's not on the.
He's a mid-range.
Yeah, he's not playing Naya Blitz or aggro or anything like
Playing
that.
Farseeks in that thing.
Isn't everyone playing Farseeks?
In mid-range.
I can't remember. Last week I gave somebody grief for playing Farseeks in their deck, and everybody was just like, "Oh no, you're wrong." And I was just like, "Not every deck is supposed to have a Farseek."
Every mid-range deck that has.
I can't remember whose deck it was.
It was a deck Blitz. I would not play Farseek because you don't need more than.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. I think the person's deck was a lot more aggressive. Huntmaster of the Fells.
Without a Searing Spear in the turn. I guess he has some Mizzy Wars in there.
He has a spear. He has no red mana though.
Oh.
That's the thing about Searing Spear. You have to tap him out and cast it.
No, you tap something that
creates a red Steam Vents or something. But yeah, Joe is, even after cycling the Azorius Charm, has not missed a land drop, but he does not have access to red mana, so Huntmaster going to flip here. Not going to knock Joe down to 18.
Unfortunately.
There's the Steam Vents, but somewhat too little too late as it can't... well, you can Mortars. Oh! Now, in response, you can do nothing because you have no other red source. But that's a pretty rough turn of events for Joe there, as Alec is going to gain 2 life, get another wolf, but more importantly, save his Huntmaster. He has a Reckoner and a Thragtusk in his hand. So we're going to serve in with the Expendable Wolves, and that's a good name for an indie band, Expendable Wolves. I'll write that down in my notes. It's a good one. And the Restoration Angel. So Joe's choosing to eat a wolf and drop to 11 in the process. And then there's Acidic Slime taking out your red source. Yikes. That's pretty brutal. What was
Joe
it?
have a Supreme Verdict? Because if he doesn't, I'm pretty sure that he's not lasting too long in this game.
This is what I get for keeping putting all these red decks under the camera, because they win too darn quick.
Another Resto Angel to prevent flipping.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he has enough blockers for that.
Yeah, he's not going to die immediately, but he's in a world of hurt. I don't know if his specific... Some of these Flash decks don't play Verdict, or they play one of them. And it's the same attacks from Alec. He's going to...
Yeah, attacks with the slime.
No, it was a slime, not the
wolf, because he doesn't have another wolf.
That's exactly why I thought it was the same.
Thragtusk.
And there's Thragtusk. So Alec's going to go up to 29. After attacks, Joe dropping all the way down to 9. More importantly, our Thragtusk count going up to 4 on the evening. It's quickly becoming a fan favorite, the Thragtusk count. I have no data to back that up. I just felt like I should suggest that. So Snapcaster coming down, flashing back into Azorius Charm to dig. Joe just bricking very hard on red sources. Of course, doing that during his turn, not only to find a land, but also to keep that Master from flipping.
Yep.
So Alec, pretty viciously going through his hand there. All the cards I can make out are a Thragtusk and a Boros Reckoner.
A second Thragtusk.
That Reckoner is coming very close to taking over this game. It shows a low enough life total that it's just going to be... Oh, one of them is a Strangleroot Geist. Is that an Aurelia? No, 2 Reckoners, a Thragtusk and a Strangleroot Geist. Is that what the kids would call a grip full of gas? Try to generate a scenario in which you have better 4 cards in your hand.
Yeah, especially with 6 mana now.
I would say if he had Aurelia, but if he had Aurelia, he would have just cast it in 1, so...
Yeah. I think he wins regardless at this point. There's nothing...
Short of Supreme Verdict, and even then...
You Supreme Verdict, then he plays 2
yes.
Boros Reckoners.
Yes.
Or or the other side does.
There's a Cavern of Souls naming Searing Spear. Oh, Joe does have an Aurelia in his hand, but still one off from casting it. At that point, still going to have to play defense. Of course, Aurelia does have Vigilance, so...
Aurelia is
Flying, Vigilance, Haste. That's the trifecta.
Yep.
So it only took him one Thrag test, but Alec Myers wins Game 1 of this Round 2 pairing.
I don't think we're counting the one that's in his hand.
As we go to the boards... Huh?
I don't think we're counting the Thrag test.
Has to make an appearance.
Yeah.
If it gets blinked, it gets counted. If it gets Unburial Rites, it gets counted. But you have to play it. Of course, we were referencing the infamous, I think it was about a month ago, we had the infamous 14 Thrag test game where Brandon Gibbs and Cliff Markham played a Game 1 that lasted about 45 minutes and a match that lasted an hour 5. Which was
this after top 8 or something?
This was the quarterfinals.
Ah, which is why there was no top 8. Hey. Worst thing ever.
Yeah, it was not, no one was real thrilled about it, but it was very late at night, too.
It's the worst time ever.
As Yin goes into his magic box.
Now I'm just fixing my deck.
Well, while you fix your deck, I'm going to take this opportunity to
Why not?
to remind everybody how they can win our weekly stream giveaway. Guys, when you start your game of Magic, don't roll dice and don't flip coins. Get with the program, the 21st century technology of rock, paper, scissors cards with these delightful parody cards from the Unglued set. If you don't have a play set of your own, you're in luck. We give them away each and every week. Head over to facebook.com/ZachSellsMagic, where I just this second made a post saying something to the effect of, we're giving away a play set of rock, paper, scissors cards. You got 3 ways to enter on Facebook. Like the post, comment on the post, and share it on your own timeline. Each of those is a separate entry. And remember, to be eligible, you must have liked our Facebook page. So that's something that people forget a lot. I will redraw if you haven't liked it, so make sure you like the page and then enter those 3 ways. It also shows up on our Twitter feed, or my Twitter feed I should say, at ZachSellsMagic on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter and retweet there and you're entered. So you have 4 separate ways of entering each week. Next week I will make a random drawing and send those to you. If you live overseas, you're absolutely eligible. I've sent cards so far to Chile, the UK, to I think the Netherlands, but I can't be confirmed, and in multiple sets to Canada. And a lot to Indiana. Actually, a lot of people have won in Indiana. But that is one of the ways we can give back to you guys. So help us with our social media numbers, and we'll help you with free Magic cards. Are they worth a ton of money? No. But are they worth a ton of pride? Absolutely. A ton of fun. And a bag of chips. So we move into round 2 here. Alec taking game 1 from Joe. Thinking about sideboard cards for Alec. Do you have any insight as the resident red-green player? Any idea what he'd be bringing in against the control matchup? He's going to bring in...
I think all of my bringing in against control matchups are black-based.
Yes, discard and...
I mean, if he has... well, I guess if he has Smiters, they can be countered.
He has a hand of 7 lands. I was going to say, I think he was waiting for Joe to finish up.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything I would bring in against American Flash out of that, just because I don't know what the options are when you add white instead of black.
Mm-hmm. Of course, the stream regular in the chat, Evilbeard, saying that people in Indiana rule. Of course, he's biased as he does live in Indiana, so I'm going to have to go ahead and take that with a... Someone else is suggesting that I should have a bell that I should ring every time after Actus makes an appearance, which would be fun. I do wish I had some kind of way. I have not yet figured out how to add like background music to the stream. Like, not that I want to do that during the round, but like if we ever like take a break or like step outside or something, to have like some
elevator music.
Yes, just like the MASH theme song or some kind of. Basically just a loop of Cotton Eye Joe by Rednecks. Are you familiar with that song?
No.
You would be if you heard it. I don't feel like doing an impression at this point.
Probably a good idea.
So both of our competitors mulling down to 6. Obviously going to impact Joe a little bit more as he is on the play, but his deck is one that can potentially draw out of it. As Yin sorts through his Jun deck, removing all the Farseeks. Are you going to replace them with promo Farseeks?
No, I think...
Are you going away from Farseek as a card?
No, I'm just like putting everything out.
Oh, you're just piling?
I think because tomorrow I'm going to have a deck list, I might as well just put everything out.
Mm-hmm. Or you could just print it. You could just make up a deck list tonight.
I could. I'm also taking the judge exam tomorrow, so I kind of need to study a little bit.
Are they bringing in another judge?
They have a level 2 judge there.
Who is that going to be, do you know?
Jared something. It's on Facebook. I can find out.
I don't really care. I was just curious if it's someone I knew.
I think it's someone from Ohio, so.
So, while we're talking about nonsense, Joe goes ahead and leads off here with a Sulfur Falls into a Glacial Chasm and cycles a Thought Scour. Milling his Mysium Mortars in a land. Alec on the one land hand here and goes ahead and pitches an Aurelia, as this one might be over based entirely off the top of Alec's deck. Joe is going to play a...
On the plus side, I mean, Joe's deck is really slow, or should be. So.
Yeah,
unless he already plays a Reckoner.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe not so slow anymore.
Yeah, I mean, this is a 7-turn clock. I mean, and then Alec's deck does gain a fair amount of incremental life. How does the Naya deck deal with Reckoner? How does the Naya deck deal with 2 Reckoners? Yes. You can block it and 2-for-1 yourself. Angel is a fine answer. But, of course, Joe's playing infinite counter magic and removal.
Yeah, it gets hard to deal with 2.
Strangle Root Geist making an appearance. As Alec is lacking his 4th mana source. Let's go ahead and serve in with 2 Reckoners here, and Alec just going to take it down to 9.
Yeah, I think Alec's screwed.
At this point, he's dangerously close to being burned out.
What removal does he have against Forest Reckoners that isn't going to basically kill him?
Yes. At this point, you just have to hope to draw like enough, gain life effects to try and outpace the Reckoner triggers, but that seems very unlikely in this specific situation.
Does he have 4 mana?
He does, with the Arbor Elf.
Yeah, he's really going to have to chain Thragtusk for like the next 3 turns.
I mean, Joe should just burn him out here, shouldn't he? Joe using the burn side of turn burn to take out the actual Huntmaster, leaving just the Wolf token behind. There is another Huntmaster, putting Alec up to 5.
And Alec should just die next turn.
So he should be up to 5. And Joe down to 19. I think they were sorting out a life total discrepancy.
Might have been a revelation.
Joe is going to cycle his Azorius Charm into turn. I mean, surely Joe has some burn at this point, right?
I think he would have. Puts Alec out 1.
Yep, this puts... Yep, so Joe has 4 damage to triggers. He's going to take out the Huntmaster and do the other 2 to Alec directly. So Alec in spear range here. I guess Joe just not finding it. There is a Thragtusk. I don't think he has the land to cast it. He does have a Garrick Relentless in his hand, but that's not going to be any good. As
Fight the Reckoner and die.
The only way to survive this next turn is to have 2 1/1 creatures and block with them, right?
I think so.
Restoration Angel, blinking the Reckoner, blocking the guy, doing the 3 damage to Alec on the trigger. That should be the game. Took Alec a second there to see how he was going to lose that one, but to be perfectly honest, Alec lost that game by not drawing his second land until about turn 5. That is a part of the game. He did mold a 6, kept a 1-lander. It's an Arbor Elf, but no green mana to cast it. Such are the perils of keeping the 1-land hand.
Well, he was at 6 cards, and if he had the Arbor Elf in hand,
Let's see if my stupid camera's working.
he had the Arbor Elf in hand, and he's on the draw.
Mhm.
So,
Sometimes
chances
you
are
gotta
that
do it. My boy Evilbeard over here is linking you to a deck registration PDF that you can download. Of course, again, that's going to require you to be proactive and not be lazy.
Well, I use the SCG deck list. I just don't know if it's appropriate for
I
like.
use the SCG deck list.
No, I just don't know if like using another deck list is technically appropriate for events that provide their deck list.
It's fine. All of them are DCI. They all have to meet DCI standards.
Okay.
It's just a list with your name and number on it. That's all they care about. You can even type it in and print it.
Yeah. I used to do that.
You were also asking what software I'm using. I'm using XSplit. He's also talking about OBS is supposed to be a little bit more brutal on one's processor speed.
You do not have a very good processor on this.
I'm struggling to exist at the bare minimum level currently and don't want to push my luck, as they would say, by adding more processor burden, peripherals, etc., etc. So Alec keeping, excuse me, Alec keeping his 7, leading off with the stomping ground tapped, doing the same thing on turn 2. So these guys just play draw go here for the first few turns of the match. So this is a pretty huge play right here. On curve Domri against only 1 open mana.
Yeah.
Like it has to be like well, I guess Reckoner's a good answer, but like it's going to be, if Joe did not have the Reckoner immediately, it's going to be tough for him to deal with the Domri.
Yeah.
So Alec whiffs on his Domri activation, but we do see a Huntmaster make an appearance. That will at least allow him to, I don't know, he might not even block the Reckoner. Joe drawing a detention sphere to take out the Planeswalker threat, and he's just going to leave his Reckoner back on defense. I guess the way Alec beats Reckoner is just to go over top of it. I mean, with just Aurelias and just bigger dudes. Or he can just he can just make a ton of Huntmasters.
I guess so.
I mean, at some point he can just pass and kill the Reckoner like that. Now it's going to, he's going to lose both of his wolves, but or one of his Huntmasters, but that is an option, right?
I think so.
Because the trigger happens after it's already a 4/4, so he'd have to use both of his damage triggers to kill one of them. It's an option he's got. We'll of course see if Joe can answer it in another way. Looking at his hand, all I can make out is a Hallowed Fountain. There's a Cavern of Skulls, likely naming doesn't really matter at this point. Angel. It's usually Angel or Wizard. War Leader's Helix making an appearance.
Huh.
I'm not sold on this card. I've mentioned it multiple times before on the stream, but and of course now it looks great. But it's a 4-cost removal spell. Like I don't.
What's a 4-cost? Yeah, I mean there aren't that many like 4 damage.
Mizzy Mortars. Like do you need to run just 5 of them?
Yeah.
Like mortars cost 2. So, Alec bringing in what I can only assume is a sideboarded Triumph of Ferocity. Plays his own, Cavern of Souls, naming who knows what. But now up against 2 Triumph of Ferocities, if at whatever point, as I understand the way Triumph works, during his upkeep it checks, and if he controls the creature with the highest power, he draws a card.
Yeah.
So if his
equal to the highest power.
So if his Huntmaster flips, like it did right here, he's going to draw 2? Is that how that works? Or is the trigger stacked?
I think the trigger...
You can stack
I would
the Triumph.
have to read the card to see if...
Yeah, I think you can stack the triggers since you control them both, and they both trigger at the beginning of your upkeep. Because it doesn't trigger when, like, a targeting a creature. It just triggers on resolution. Do you have the biggest
Yeah,
one?
he's drawing.
So he drew 2 cards there, so it seems really, really good.
Yep.
What a Thought Scour. I guess Alec not serving in here. He does have Restoration Angel up. Blinking the Boros Reckoner. The Huntmaster is going to flip back. So Joseph going to, or Alec going to gain 2 more life. Man, I'm falling apart, and it's only round 2. Calling people by the wrong names, incorrectly identifying numbers in the English numeric system. So Joe going to go aggro here, attacking, now with the Huntmaster flip back, he's going to attack in for 6. But of course, Alec with these infinite Huntmaster activations is getting there. We're going to flash back to the turn and burn, using the burn side, I would imagine. And he's going to get blown out with the Restoration Angel, unless Joe has an answer to that.
Yeah, he's
he
going to draw
doesn't.
3 cards next turn.
Because it also triggers when you tie, correctly?
Yes, I'm pretty sure, yeah. That's why like a Birds of Paradise was still.
And you notice there, Yin, they're making use of, seems like there's an endless supply of tokens off camera. That's right, token box. Super proud of it. They're all color-coded.
Really?
Well, they're all organized. I mean,
well, that's cool.
So, yeah, they're reading Triumph of Ferocity. So 2 cards from 2 Triumphs and the card naturally for the turn. It does trigger if he ties. So, so both Angels having 3 power. I'm going to draw a grip full of cards. He's got a Celestian Charm, which is irrelevant at this match, at this point, I think. What's the third mode? +2/+2?
Yeah, +2/+2 and trample.
So we're going to chump out a Wolf with a Snapcaster and take 9 from an Angel and 3 Wolf tokens, dropping Joe all the way down to 13. He's going to pass and flip Huntmaster, deal the damage to the Restoration Angel so that it doesn't... doing that to the Boros Reckoner is probably the worst thing you could possibly do at any point in your Magic career. So Joe up against it here, he's going to need at this point you're going to need like a verdict, but even then, Alec has a million cards in his hand. Snapcaster, coming back, War Leader's Helix. And you have to target the dude again, and if he has another Angel, he has another Angel. Oh, he's going to save it with the Celestian Charm, right?
Yeah.
Jeez. Well, he's still going to gain 4.
I think Alec's just drawing too many cards now for Joe to actually do anything.
Yeah, well, his deck is all business, too, you know what I mean? It's just like the Reckoner's fine, but when Alec is at 24 life, you know, the Reckoner's really good at racing. It's very good at dealing 20 damage, but it's not very good at doing 30 and 35, and with as many Huntmaster triggers as Alec has gotten.
Yeah.
Look, just look how many wolves he has. Like, that's an indication. Every wolf indicates 2 life, and Alec is still at 24.
Yeah, this game is over. Unless something really crazy happens, this game is over.
We're lining up 3. Well, pump fake. Alec thinking about something, backing it up. Well, the situation he's in here is kind of awkward because he doesn't really have very good attacks. He can attack and he's going to lose...
Domri fight.
Why did the Domri... Why did it kill the Angel? Did the Angel have damage on it already? Oh, he attacked in with his own Angel and then finished it off with the fight, trading one of his wolves for... And we see a... Garrick. The biggest of Garrick. Garrick Primal Hunter. Go ahead and make it 3/3. Unsolicited personal anecdote of the night. Earlier today, I used Garrick and EDH to draw 34 cards. I won that one.
What did you add that was 34
I
pounds?
had a Hamletback Goliath that had gotten real big. You actually had that. You really want to draw 34 cards because, yeah, you have a 100-card library, but at some point you will kill yourself that way. But that was interesting. Big Garrick here just going to make a beast in the next turn. If Alec wants to, he can draw 3 cards off of it, which seems to be the the way to go, because he's really at this point just trying to get to Aurelia or another, I don't know if he's playing Thunder Moles or another Restoration Angel, something that can get through in the sky, or or I should say another Garrick Relentless. Of course, that's not good at this point because he's just playing another Garrick. You just don't block here, right? Oh, he's attacking Domri. Domri was going to die either way, so just go ahead and jump it out. And then pray Joe doesn't have Supreme Verdict. Joe does have Sphinx's Revelation in his hand. So, Huntmaster going to flip yet again. We're seeing really the power of Huntmaster of the Fells. Taking out a Snapcaster. Alec still drawing 3 cards a turn because of those double Triumph of Ferocities. Which, don't be confused, they get closer and closer to Alec's graveyard, but they are very much in play.
They're on top of this game.
Very much in play. So Alec serving in with an off-camera Restoration Angel, 3 Wolf tokens, a 4/4 Trampling Ravager of the Fells, and a Beast token from that Garrick Primal Hunter. Joe has literally nothing going on. His only permanent is the Boros Reckoner, which is currently tapped. Now, he does have Sphinx's Revelation in his hand, but this is 12, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19 damage, so Snapcaster Helix will help here. Does he have another one? No, Snapcaster is a Thought Scour. Cavern. Hallowed Fountain. Can you draw another Hallowed Fountain? The Ravager has Trample, right?
Yes.
So you block the Beast here and then take 16 and die? That's exactly what happens. So the Mono Good Stuff deck out of Alec Myers beating a turn 3 Boros Reckoner just out of pure attrition. You flip Huntmaster enough times, you make enough Wolf tokens. Seems like you can get there, so we still got about,
keep that in mind.
Still got about, think about that, Yen. That's you cast a fair number of Huntmasters in your day.
Still keep doing it.
Yeah, why not? Very good cards. I recently added it to my cube, because I have a very stringent policy when it comes to gold cards, and it took me a while to get there. But he's very good. Not surprising to anyone. So let me step outside, see if we can find another match to slot over, or at least somebody to...
These guys.